activate that part of ourselves. It's a very, very potent, powerful force of nature that exists within all of us. We all know the pattern that lives deeply within us where we start something and we're all enthused, and then we go along, we hit a couple road bumps, we get distracted, our energy gets dispersed, and then we're in the same cyclical negative patterns. Does anyone know what I'm talking about when I talk about that? Like, everyone raises their hand, right? AJ smiling, right? So you said to me in our first call, right? I remember we were talking about this very thing. And so the way through it is through it, okay? Facing it, going around it, dealing with our patterns, and then changing the trajectory. Now, one of the things that we do a lot in this work, Julie and I had a one-on-one call today, and we were talking about the archetypes. It's one of the frameworks that we use in Man for Man. And as I've shared before, I'm not going to go through all of them in detail, but we work with 4 main archetypes in this work. The warrior, which is that part of ourselves, a lot of warrior energy in this group, but that part of ourselves, which is turning towards, right, the things that are self-limiting or painful or scary. So that way we can go through them. That's the warrior energy, that courage to turn towards it every day, even when you're tired, even when you don't want to, even when you're watching the old patterns of limitation and negative behaviors creep in. The warrior is what you can get in touch with to pull you through. The magician has been the focus of this particular program and is very powerful because, man, the magician is, yes, it's that part of ourselves that makes magic, that part of ourselves that can access different parts of our psyche and our subconscious that empowers us to do things that don't really make a lot of sense sometimes. That perfect connection, that perfect job. Oh, I thought of this, and then boom, it happened 2 days later. The miracle of my daughter, magician work. She wasn't supposed to be born, right? She had her 4th birthday this week. We all have things in our lives that have happened that we can't fully explain. Those synchronicities, those powerful moments of flow where the right stuff happened at the right time. And it's not just random. We can consciously access that part of ourselves, call it in, pray to it, so that way it becomes more active. Magician. The king is what I wanted to talk about tonight. The king, and this is what Julie and I were talking about. And even on the call, I was sharing how, in my belief, the warrior energy and the magician energy are foundational, right? Like in terms of what we can do, in terms of our potential. The king element, which we all have access to, is in a sense second tier. It's the one that we're striving towards, because the king is different. The king in each of us is that brother, the part of our masculine psyche who can see the lay of the land and make really wise decisions. That part of ourselves that incorporates the warrior, incorporates the magician and other archetypes, and can actually look out at the landscape of our lives and our work and our health and our relationships and make really wise decisions. The main goal of like all Man for Man is to actually develop kings. Okay, this is really where we're going. Okay, as a community of men, we're trying to really understand the archetype of the king and activate that part of ourselves. It's a very, very potent, powerful force of nature that exists within all of us. And we're just lucky enough to be human, where we are conscious or becoming more conscious and awakening to the power that we have. It's freaking amazing, being human. The fact that we can literally change ourselves because we are conscious and aware of our own thoughts and our own process. It's just a process to understand that it is a process, right? It's a process of awakening. So that's what we're doing here. So the king is big. And for those of you that have been around my work before, there will be times where I'll associate certain qualities with certain archetypes. And the king is one where we do that. And this isn't laid in law, okay? This isn't, something that is just always universally true. This comes from 20 years of working in this space and working with a lot of people like us. And also really from the Man for Man work over the last 2 years, where the 2 primary qualities that represent the king for us are integrity and generosity. Inherent in the kingly energy, the noble energy that lives within each one of us, are the concepts of integrity and generosity. Integrity is where we are so honorable with our word, so freaking honorable with our word. You know, when you are at your best in life, your word is like gold. It's a gold standard. And you know that when you're kind of falling down some rabbit holes, your word kind of goes away very quickly, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You've felt the difference in your life when you are so strong in yourself that you could actually just be honest with what is. You have integrity. It's very kingly. The king doesn't run away from bad information. Okay. The king doesn't seek good information either. The king is aware of what is and turns his gaze towards it and deals with it. That's the mark of an evolutionary man.